welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. And yes, I am back in the studio. I'm back from Star Wars Celebration. Thank you so much for your very kind words about crossing over that 25,000 subscriber mark, especially you, Superboo85. This rundown is all yours. Captain Marvel is going to be such a big superhero movie, it needs 2 directors. Marvel has announced who will direct their highly anticipated movie. The Captain Marvel film will be helmed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, the directing duo behind dramas like Mississippi Grind and It's Kind of a Funny Story. This will be their first big action movie, but Marvel is known for taking risks on lesser-known directors, and the fact that Marvel hired them could indicate that the studio wants to make sure the character drama in the film has as much impact as the explosions and special effects. They won't be the first directing duo in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Russo brothers helmed Cap 2 and 3 and are currently working on the next Avengers ensemble. Captain Marvel was created by Stan Lee and Gene Colan in 1967 and has seen many different variations over the years. The movie will focus on the most recent character to take the mantle, Carol Danvers, formerly known as Ms. Marvel, who's an Air Force pilot given superpowers by an alien. She'll be played by Oscar winner Brie Larson in the film, and this will be the first Marvel movie headlined by a female hero. Sorry, Black Widow. You'll be able to catch Captain Marvel in 2019. And the Marvel Cinematic Universe is getting a lot more teen angst. Take a look at the first trailer for the new Marvel TV series Cloak and Dagger, based on the comic book series of the same name. Like the books, the show will focus on a pair of young heroes known as Cloak and Dagger who have an interesting pair of inverted powers. One of them can control light and the other controls darkness. I guess opposites attract. Since the characters are both teenagers, expect the show to have plenty of high school age drama on top of the usual superhero stuff, kind of like what Marvel does with their most famous teenage superhero, Spider-Man. The 10-episode first season of Cloak and Dagger will premiere next year on the Disney-owned cable channel Freeform, formerly known as the Family Channel, so don't expect as much violence as the Netflix Marvel shows. This isn't the only Marvel show in the works for Freeform. The network will also air the upcoming series New Warriors, which is expected to be more comedic and feature other young Marvel heroes like Squirrel Girl. Expect that this fall. It looks like one of the creepiest video game characters in recent memory is coming to a shelf near you. The demonic game, The Binding of Isaac, is apparently getting its own Amiibo figure. Publisher Nicholas Inc. has tweeted a photo of what appears to be an Isaac Amiibo, but they haven't released any statements yet. They could just be teasing us by showing off a cool mock-up, but we've got our fingers crossed that this is an actual Amiibo, so we'll let you know if more details come in from Nicholas or Nintendo. The Binding of Isaac was recently released on the Nintendo Switch and first hit the 3DS in 2015. Nintendo initially rejected the game due to its controversial religious content, not to mention depictions of violence against children, but they eventually changed their minds because the game is awesome and important. Releasing an Isaac Amiibo would be the perfect way for Nintendo to show their newfound support for the game. The Fast and the Furious franchise is going to cross the finish line eventually. With the 8th film, Fate of the Furious, breaking box office records by earning more than $500 million worldwide in its opening weekend, many are curious about the future of the franchise. It turns out it will be coming to an end a little sooner than you might think. Speaking with Collider, Fast producer Neil Moritz says that they're planning to make just 2 more movies, ending the franchise with its 10th film. He adds that they've already got a conclusion in mind, and ending it this way is what everyone thinks is best. I guess that means they're going out on a high note and won't milk the franchise until it runs out of gas. It's rare in Hollywood for a studio to end a franchise as lucrative as this one, so don't be surprised if Universal Studios reboots the franchise at some point after the current films reach their conclusion. There's no word yet on when the 10th and final movie will arrive, but the 9th film is slated to hit the streets in 2019.
Holy shit!
Move over, Game of Thrones, because another epic fantasy series is coming to television. The long-in-development Wheel of Time TV series is moving forward. Variety reports that Sony Pictures Television has come aboard the project and hired Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. producer Rafe Judkins as showrunner. Bringing the books to television isn't going to be easy. Wheel of Time is easily one of the biggest and most well-loved fantasy realms, consisting of 14 different books published from 1990 to 2013. Author Robert Jordan died in 2007, so the final 3 books were finished by another writer, Brandon Sanderson. All the books chronicle an epic fantasy story about, what else, the battle between good and evil, and feature many different characters across multiple generations and countless locations. A television adaptation has been gestating since at least the year 2000, and this one is moving forward amidst the success of Game of Thrones, not to mention the new mainstream popularity of the fantasy genre in general. We'll keep you up to date on the latest details. The publisher of Dark Souls has something new in the same vein. With the Dark Souls series having come to an end with the recent third entry, publisher Bandai Namco is making a new franchise meant to appeal to the same audience. They've announced Code Vein, an action RPG that, like Dark Souls, promises to be brutally difficult. Much of the promo material that's already been released is clearly invoking the Dark Souls imagery, but keep in mind that this game isn't being made by Dark Souls developer From Software. It's instead being developed by the team behind another Bandai Namco published action RPG franchise, God Eater. So expect the game itself to have more in common with that series. Code Vein will hit consoles next year. That does it for the rundown today. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, we've got tons of great videos on this channel, including a very cool interview with the makers of Rumble. It's a great documentary. You should check that out. We'll see you tomorrow with a brand new rundown.